I believe in hard work. As a golfer, I have learned that especially if I do not practice, I will get no results. Consequently, I have worked harder than ever these past few years. I have started to become more focused on practicing and becoming a better player. In 2007 of the Houston Golf Association season, I was having the best year of my life. I was the man to beat. All summer, I could not wait to play the number one ranked kid in my age group. He was only beating me by a few points. It came down to the last tournament of the season. Practice only made me better, so when the tournament came around, I was ready to perform. I woke up every day in the summer that year, practicing from sunup to sundown, knowing my mission to play and practice to perform at my best. I placed no worse than a top 10 that year. My confidence was high. I was ready for the last tournament of the year. I wanted nothing less than to play and do my best. About a week before the golf tournament, I was full of confidence, joy, and determination. I remember having a brief conversation with my father. We talked about the tournament and what my expectations were. I told him I was ready to beat Joshua Verde, the number one ranked kid. My father laughed and said, "We'll see." I asked, "Why are you laughing?" "You know, I've been working my hardest in order to take him down." He merely responded with, "We'll see the day of the golf tournament." Day one of the golf tournament came before I knew it. My tee time was at 9 o'clock, but I arrived there much earlier. The extra time allowed me to prepare myself mentally and warm up with my regular routine to get myself in a calm, relaxed mood. Highly focused and calm, 9 o'clock marked my date with Joshua Verde. I gallantly marched to the first tee, ready to play. The marshal gave us our scorecards and told us who was going first. I was the lucky number one that day. I took my first swing and put one about 280 yards right down the middle of the fairway. Nothing was going to stop me, and I remained focused the entire round, thus playing to the best of my ability. There was no room for compromise. I was also impressed by how the golf course fit my eye and how generally comfortable for me. Firing a 79 on the first day, I trounced Joshua's 86. While beating Josh was an accomplishment, I still had 25 other kids to worry about. When I saw the scoreboard, I was the only kid to break 80. I could not have been more happier with myself, even if it was only by one shot. The next day would mark the final outcome. The drive home was the best part. I sat in the truck soaking up the air conditioning while listening to my father tell me how proud he was. The last few words he said would be the most important to me, and I will always remember them. The only problem I had that night was sleeping. I could not sleep that night. I tossed and turned and had dreams about all the things that could go wrong. I said a few prayers and God finally granted me sleep. The next day, my father's words were engraved in my mind. However, I started the first few holes a little shaky, and I began to worry about losing my lead. My father's words, and they were, though, to put me through. After finishing 9 holes, I managed to turn my one-shot lead into 4. I began to feel more comfortable. The feeling of comfort would last until the middle of the round, as I made some bad shots, and minor errors were coming from everywhere. By the time hole 13 came around, I drove my ball in the middle of the fairway, with the feeling that I was going to turn things around. Joshua came out of nowhere and asked how I was playing. I told him I was doing okay. I was lying. He said he was 1 under par. I told him to finish strong, and then he walked off. Our exchange boosted my confidence. Between hole 13 and 18, I played 1 under par and shot 35 on the back 9. After exiting the score tent, I immediately ran to the clubhouse to check out the other scores. I found out Joshua lied to me, was merely trying to get in my head. But his plan did not work. It actually helped me out and get back on track. I learned that I claimed victory by not one shot, but by 7. I was shocked, yet very happy with my accomplishment. Knowing what my mission was and completing it was the most difficult task ever. I overcame all my fears and performed to the best of my ability. Even though I had a few shaky holes, I did not allow them to affect my overall game. Looking back at the tournament, I learned many things. I learned how to believe in myself and in hard work. I learned that rigorous practice yields good results. I also learned to never give up on myself. Most importantly, my father could not have been more happier for me.